And normally airplanes have to stay 1 mile apart. That's the rule for commercial airplanes. And then military, maybe you can fly like 4 or 5 meters apart. But in his group, they have to fly a half a meter apart. And if they touch, they all die. And then they have to go like this and like this. And so if you saw the movie Top Gun, he was in that movie. He was one of the pilots in the movie. So, and then he got several degrees from Stanford Business School, and he has one of the highest degrees from Stanford. And then he joined tech companies, and then he became a public speaker, and he talks about precision and teamwork and how we can do much better than we thought we could do, because he did it in the Navy, that they told him you have to fly this close to each other, and he said it's impossible. And they said no, you have to learn. And so he says that we can also do that with in our businesses. If we push ourselves, we can go to much higher performance. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. Okay, well, let me start.
He's also a football star.
Let me start with a big thank you and glad to be here. And to me, glad to be here is the essence. Oops. To me, glad to be here. So let me start again with glad to be here. That's the essence of a high-performance team. So we're going to talk a little bit today about some of the qualities and characteristics of a high-performance team. Okay, and we're going to look at what do you want to accomplish, and it's going to be fun. So this is going to be interactive, all right? But it all hinges around what I call the ethos of glad to be here. And glad to be here means much more than just being appreciative. Okay, much more than gratitude. To me, glad to be here. It's a rallying point. It's the core. It's your essence. It's a lot of times for me when I was on the Blue Angels, I was just glad to be part of that team. Just to be in the room was a privilege. A lot of people wanted to be here. If you look around this room, same thing. Also, glad to be here meant that I was really grateful for not just the opportunity, but the other people in the room, my other teammates, constantly reminding myself that was important. And I think the third and most important one, though, was the purpose. To make an impact. Why are we here? To make a big impact. So for me, when I say glad to be here, my mind is going back to those qualities, right? And then it just grows from there. And we're really starting to grow that brand. What does that really mean to each individual? So I want to start with Geshe. Thank you. I'm very glad to be in this moment, right in here. I'm glad you asked me to present on high performance. And you guys are amazing. I mean, I observe, I watch. Every single one person in this room is amazing in many different ways. You're not only smart, you care, you're making a difference. You're a high performer. Every single person in this room is. But high-performing teams are not just made up of high-performance individuals. You can have a lot of high-performance individuals, and it doesn't mean you have a team. But every high-performance team does have high-performance individuals. So we got the qualities are here. Now we got to decide, okay? So I want to start first with, I want to give somebody else the table for a second, just pass the airplane. Very quickly, give me a 30-second max. Why are you glad to be here right now? Somebody share it out with the group, because we're trying to connect. Go ahead.
This is the only thing that is happening in the world, not anywhere else.
Love it. Somebody else, why are you glad to be here right now?
I really enjoy the people that are in the room. I feel very privileged to be in the presence of people who have such great learning.
There's an extremely specialized set of topics that I am most fascinated in, and the people in the world that are most fascinated with the subset of topics that I'm fascinated in are all here.
Anybody else? Yep.
I'm all about presentation. This stuff is going to be
Purpose. I love it. Okay. So now another quick question, because everybody grabbed me off to the side. It wasn't just Geshe. So I want to hear what do you want to hear? What's your desire for the next 30 minutes? What is an outcome that you hope to achieve? Because this is about you, okay? And we're going to lay it on the table, and then we'll see how to approach it, okay? So throw it out here. What's a desired outcome that you want to achieve? Go ahead, Nick.
I like how you said a team is made up of high performance individuals, but also knowing how to work together as a team.
Yes.
If you can help us like learn how to best work together, you know, because we all are in their own specialized way good at what we do.
Yep.
Just that, you know, like I appreciate getting to work with all these people. For us to be able to like put our, you know, not need to be the always the number one of the team, but be part of the team.
Yes, yes.
That to be balanced.
Okay, beautiful. We'll attack that. What else? Anybody else? Desire.
I want to know, glad to be here, how to link with the team. Yeah.
Yes.
How to make the team.
How to make that a team
Is that
instead of an individual. Love it. Great.
I would say long-term survival of the crew so that we can really make a difference and not just die.
Right. Love it. That extension that's going to go beyond yourself. I love it. Okay. What else? Anything else? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Specifically, I'd like to learn how to be a supportive member of the team.
Okay. Be the supportive member of the team. Increase performance. Get better. Okay. All right. Think we can do that in 30 minutes? Actually, I think we can. We're gonna try. We're gonna do it. All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Because you've been here so many times.
Yeah.
You've given us so many great recommendations, and to be honest, I've not done them.
Okay.
So
Good.
how do we
That's honest.
adopt?
Beautiful. How you actually adopt it, not just listen to it, adopt it. Okay. I like it. I like it. So think of this as a lam rim. Okay. We're gonna show you a path, and then you get a chance to adopt it, and you don't have to. You know, it's like anything else. Just because you get the teaching doesn't mean you're going to actually do it. So we have to inspire. You know, something has to hit you here in order to actually want to do it. And we all know, you know, meditate, yoga, you know, do it, right? Okay, so what gets us it? So the first thing, one of the qualities of a high-performance team is they connect, okay? They connect. I'll show you right here a little bit. This is the result of what I'm about to talk about. Okay? So I think it's always nice to paint the picture of what are we trying to achieve? What does that look like? Because right now it's a bunch of words, but when you look at that, okay, that's the result of putting into application what I'm about to share with you. Okay? So it does work. And guess what? We do this with new people every year. Okay? Half of those people are new every year. So talk about extending, getting beyond oneself. Mastery goes beyond this room. It goes to all these other countries and stuff. Okay? So it is possible. It's absolutely possible. The way that I like to do it first is we have to paint the picture of what I call the high performance zone. So you have to know where you are and where you're trying to go. It's an assessment. What's your current state and what's your future state? All right? And then what you want to do is figure out, well, how do you close the gap? All right? So how many in this room think you all are a high-performing team? Just raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, couple. All right, how many of you think you are a team? Okay, good. So we still don't have every hand up, but we get more. Okay. How many of you want to become an even better team? All right, now we're getting there. How many of you want to become a high-performance team that makes a difference? All right, we got everybody in the room. Okay, so that's our goal. We're not there. Our current state is no, according to most of you, but we have a desire. We want to get there. Okay, so how do we do it? There's 4 steps. And of course, they evolve what Geshe is, and we all know it deeply. You know, of course, we have to be very clear in what are we trying to do. Get very clear on that. So right now, we just said high-performance team. Okay, that's a big subject, though, right? High-performance team. We got to find someone else who wants to do that. Okay, so I get the rare privilege to work with over 1,000 companies, about 100 a year, that are all trying to do this too. So let me tell you, you're not alone. Okay, there's a lot of people trying to do this really well. Okay, you want to find someone, and then what do you want to do? You want to help them. Okay, actually do it. All right, and then we better, let's rejoice about this. Let's have some fun. and let's celebrate our victories. Okay, that of course is the fundamentals. Okay, but I would suggest that there's also some qualities and characteristics that we're going to unpack. Okay, so the first one is, I believe, is a high performance team needs to connect. You need to connect as people, individuals. That's a quality. There's different characteristics on connecting. Instead of me telling you the other three, let's try to unpack some yourself. What do you think is a characteristic or a quality? Let's go with qualities first of a high performance team. No right answer, by the way. Just throw it out. Communication. Great. What else?
Caring about each other.
Caring. Beautiful. What's that? Harmony. Oh, I love it. You know, that's very interesting. Everything we do is obviously empty, okay? Because there are high performance teams that do not have harmony, okay? And they perform very well. And there are high performance teams that have great harmony, and they perform very, and there's others that don't, right? So every answer is the answer is yes. I can give you an example of where that works. I can give you an example where it doesn't work, okay? But we're going to get to some of what really works all the time, you know. Okay, go ahead. Harmony, great characteristic. Yeah, same goals. So alignment on goals. Everybody's aligned. Adaptability, absolutely. Things change. Anybody? What's the first law? First law of emptiness. Things change, right? So you better be able to adapt. Okay, go ahead. Specialization. Yes, people are very good in their verticals. Okay, beautiful. What else? Well-being. A sense of well-being, or what are you looking at? Physical and mental. Yes. Not only yourself, but what? The team. You know, what are you doing together? You know, yoga together. Okay, what else? What?
I think, how to deliver this stuff.
Yeah.
We nailed it, but
How to deliver it. Okay, let's get to the how. Okay, anything else before Geshe? Joy. Focus. Yes. Trust. Big, huge.
I'd say respect for their goals.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful. All right. What's that? Coffee. And watermelon juice. Thank you, Bibala. Thank you. Okay, so let's go. I think there's 4 overarching ones. Remember I said there's 4 steps. First is we need to connect. Next, we need to align. Next, we need to commit. And what's the 4th one? We need to actually extend it beyond ourselves, okay? It's connection and extension, if you really think about what we're doing here. So let's go to the first one right now. I'm going to do an exercise. Instead of talking, here's what we're going to do. I want you to pair up with somebody. Okay, this is a two-person exercise. Look at somebody, and now here's what you do. Non-verbally, decide who's going to go first. Okay? So, okay? All right, you want me? Okay, non-verbally decide. So here's what we're going to do. This is the fun exercise. You're going to only answer one question. The other person, so whoever's ever going first is going first. Who's going first? Okay, got it. So I'm going first. Okay, yeah, you could do the airplane. All right, the other person only has one job, to listen. And then you're going to give appreciative feedback on something you've heard, okay? So here's the question. The person who's going first, we only have 40 seconds to do this. Okay, this is the question of Aristotle. I want you to answer this individually. Who am I? And I want your true self. Who am I? How you define I, you're going to say, I am blank. Be very aware of what words you choose after that. Who am I, and why am I here right now? Ready? Go. 40 seconds. Okay. I'm an angel. Okay. An angel has 5 qualities when I heard this. An angel is a messenger. An angel gives guidance. An angel protects. An angel is a warrior. And above all else, an angel takes care of others. When I read those, it was in the study Bible, I said, you know what? I don't know if they really are the 5, but if they are, I'm in. I commit to that. So every morning I wake up, I say, I'm an angel. And I use that as my thing. Why am I here? To make a difference. To help you guys, because I know if I help you, we'll be able to help more people, and we'll save the world. That's why I'm glad to be here. Okay, just wrap up your thoughts. Another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Now, of course, we could do this longer if we have more time, but we don't. So now 20 seconds, back to that other person's appreciative feedback. Go.
I was delighted at your answer was immediately. I was inspired by your answer in a way that I wanted to be what you said. immediately. I wanted to remember it. I wished I had taken notes so that I could look at those things, so I could write them on my damn mirror in the morning. And I'm just moved by you. You're a beautiful dude, and the passion, the conviction of what you meant when you said those things came through me very strong.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, 5 seconds. Let's wrap it up. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, how'd that feel? Good? All right, now we get to reverse roles. So if you were the one that was listening, now you have 40 seconds to tell the other person who you are and why you are here. Go.
I just had this vision at some point in my life that I was here to fight for love. And I have tried to dedicate my life to doing that. And there are days when I forget, but there are moments when I remember. And sometime every day I remember that there's one thing in this world that I want to be. And somehow that comes out of this expression of love. That anything I fight for, even wisdom, which is, my love, my dedication to truth, is only in so much as it's a way of expressing my belief in love. I can prove emptiness, but love is just something that is in my bones, and I want to make a world out of that, and I will fight with everything that I am, no matter what it takes, and I would die on that altar any day.
Wow. Okay, wrap it up. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, 20 seconds back, appreciative feedback. Go. I can feel it. Your heart's pulling out. But love. I was thinking as you were talking, the connection of wisdom and love, two sides of the same coin. But I feel your passion and the love. And you got a baby, you got a wife, but more than that, we got the world. So you're doing it, man. Thank you for inspiring me. Yeah. Okay, wrap up those thoughts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, real quick, how's your energy right now? How do you feel inside?
Amped up.
Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. All right. We did that in less than 2 minutes. Okay? You can change a state in somebody quickly if you know what you're doing, right? And if you care and you're open and you're honest. So that was just to give you an example of what's possible. We need to do that when you connect with your audiences. You need to do that at home. You need to do that as a team. Okay? We need to connect, and that's just one example of how to do it quickly. Of course, we could have gone a lot longer, and hopefully we inspired some things. Does anybody want to share out something the other person said that you heard that you just found was just awesome, and you just want to share it with the group real quickly? Something you heard. So it's not you, it's what you heard. Ready? Anybody want to share? Yeah, go.
I want to share his is a very good learning translation. He's translated for Tibetan, English, and Chinese for us.
Wow.
He wants the future. He wants to good translate.
Nice. Okay. Anybody else? Something you heard. Go ahead.
So I listened others saying that he's he is a very sees a well-achiever, and I saw it that by the way that he's doing the jobs, not only the translating but also organizing a lot of way back to some of the nation. It's not only that, but also the fact that a lot of things that he can be done.
Good. All right. One more. Anybody?
Allison asked her who she is, and she just started naming who she is in relation to other people, which I thought was very interesting.
Ah, yes.
It's just based on how all the young people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I want to share. Ben talked about love. He said, I'm love, and it was so powerful coming out of his heart about that's the mission. To love, wisdom and love, two sides of the same coin, but it's about love, right? So cool. All right, so there's lots of things we can talk about. I just wanted to show you that we have to connect in this room, and we have to connect beyond the room. Okay. All right. So let me show you an example of a connected and extension of a team. All right, and this is just one example but it'll give you a sense. As you watch this is, by the way, my time on the aircraft carriers, okay? So what you're going to see is a bunch of individuals who are there for one purpose, one job. Now, as you watch this video, you'll see how quickly we depend on each other. You'll see how everybody has different roles and responsibilities. They're very good at what they do. All the things that you mentioned, I think you're going to see in this video. And watch how we come together as a team for, in this case, to launch an aircraft. That's what you're trying to do. Okay, here you go. Now you're going to notice everybody's wearing different colored jerseys. This is how you determine what role is someone playing. And you can imagine, this is a high impact scenario. Jets are turning on the aircraft carrier. It's hot. It's cold. This is a mission. That's the catapult hooking up the aircraft. That's the one who's going to hit the button that launch this. Go from 0 to 200 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. All these team members are checking you to make sure you're ready to go. Safety observers. People taking care of you. Taxiing you up into the catapult. Okay. That is just an example of how people come together. Okay. This is done every single day. Look at how they're all pulling together for one objective. Okay. High impact, high stress. Everybody is highly skilled in their own individual roles, but they have different roles. Okay. So just in this picture, you can see the yellow shirts. We really depend on the yellow shirts. They are really more the smarter people on the flight deck, okay? And their job is to move you around, and you follow their signals 100%. You have to follow them. That includes taxiing yourself. When they park the airplane, the nose of the airplane is actually, the pilot sits in front of the landing gear, the thing, and so they'll taxi you out where you have to go. You're over the edge of the carrier, and the scupper's like 6 inches from there. If they taxi you 6 inches too far, you're in the water. Usually you die, because getting out of an airplane underwater is doesn't happen, right? So I mean, you're totally trusting these people. Then it becomes nighttime, and now you can't see, and you can see the sea state underneath you turning, the turbulence of life, and you're just right above it, and you're going, man, I don't want to fall in that, right? Trusting somebody. All right, to do their job. Okay, so that is an example of what happens when we come together. Okay, and it's done many different ways. Okay, so on my team, we weren't doing it just on the aircraft carriers, but we were doing it on the ground and then in the air. And one of the best compliments I ever got after one of my talks, somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, John, I saw you fly." And that for me was in the early 90s, by the way, on this team. But here's what she said. She said, "I expected the pilots to be precise. You know what blew me away? The ground crew. The maintenance crew were as precise on the ground as you were in the air." That's when you know it extends beyond this room. As translators, do you need to be precise? Are you absolutely accurate and good in what you do? On the way, yeah. Right. But it goes well beyond this room if you want to have the impact that you want to have. You're only one small piece. You happen to have your hand on the stick. You happen to be a pilot, but you're only one small piece of everything getting together. So one thing I want to look at is, I'll go down to that. So the connection piece is huge. Let's go down to the alignment piece. And I want to show you this. Okay, so it's one thing to be connected. Then the next step I talked to you about was alignment. Okay, so I'm going through this quickly, but we got to connect, and now we got to align. So I'm going to give you an example of how to align a team very quickly. How to align one person to many, okay? And it's through a concept I'm going to call center point. And what's that? It's going to be a single point of focus. You guys know a little bit about single point of focus. It could be a single point of focus of what we as a team are aligned on, not necessarily you as an individual, okay? So here's what you're about to watch. You're about to watch a video. You can see all 6 jets go up together. We're going to then, and this is flying in formation. This is everybody in the room and beyond this room working well together as a team. Then we're going to go in 6 different directions. It's virtual, right? We're all jumping in our own cockpit. You're going to go inside the cockpit. We all have our own individual roles and responsibilities. Then we're going to come back and we're going to cross. We're going to cross over a point and we're going to see if we have alignment. Let's watch it first. Here we go. Didn't play. It's okay. Got some gremlins out here. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, first off, when you're doing that, it's fun as hell. Okay, I got to tell you, but it takes a long time, just like anything, to get to that level. First off, where you're just flying individually, pointed straight down at the ground, 1,000 feet off the ground. Now you do that as a team of 6, okay? And you talk about Dakshim Nimshe. Did I say that right? Get close? Yeah, Dakshim Nimshe. Okay, you have to become much larger than yourself. You can't do that as an individual. And what I've noticed is it takes time to really have that feeling. It takes time to cultivate that, because initially when you're learning, whether you're learning to translate or do anything else, you're just trying to get your own act together. I mean, really, most of the focus is really inward, okay? You're sitting here going, can I fly the airplane? Where's the stick? Where's the throttle? Also, by the way, the airplane seems like it's separate than you. Just does. Okay, we know that's not the correct view, but it's a view that I had, at least initially, right? So you think you're separate than the airplane, and if you think that, it's really hard to fly, okay? Because that airplane is doing it's a big piece of machinery. It's doing stuff, and you're trying to master it. At some point, you become the master. I'm thinking the text and the translator. All right. At some point, you actually become the text. It's not a text. It's not separate from you. Okay? You actually become it. And you'll know that when you're not thinking about it. It just flows. Okay? I mean, I get in the airplane now at points where I still have a checklist. I still go through stuff. But when I'm flying, I'm not thinking about where's the power, what's my attitude, where's these things going on. I'm just one with the airplane. It becomes part of you, and actually you feel extended from it. It takes a little while, okay? But even that's not good enough, because that's just you in a piece. Then all of a sudden you realize you got people around you, okay? And when you're in this formation, I'll go back here real quick. When you're in a formation like this, okay, you cannot be just thinking about yourself, okay? Now you're aware of where everybody is. You're actually flying off of the other person. So everybody in this formation, if I'm number 6, I'm actually flying off number 2. Number 2 is flying off number 1. Number 3 is flying off number 1. Number 5 is flying off number 3. Number 4 is kind of sitting in the middle. So you have reference points, okay? But you're actually flying off the other person. It didn't happen for a long time, but eventually when we would do these barrel rolls and you're rolling individual at 6 airplanes, I'm not thinking just about myself. All 6 of us become one. You're one entity, and you can feel the heart throbs of the other person. You know when they're having a bad day. You know when they're having a good day. You just feel them. You usually hear it in their voice too. And you can pick this up in people too. You just hear it in their voice. And if somebody's having a bad day, we pick it up on the radio. We try to encourage them, okay? And then the real question is, can you go beyond this formation to where now you're actually one with the crowd, everyone down there looking at you. And then you realize, wait a minute, I'm one with the nation. I'm one with we were ambassadors of goodwill. Then you say, no, I'm one with the world. Who cares about borders, right? And you have to extend yourself, all right? It's really cool to get out of the mind and into the heart when you actually feel it. when you actually feel it. And you go in and out, by the way, at least I do. Okay, so beautiful. So let's look at back to your team, because I want to make this practical. Guess what I said, what's the how? We don't have to talk about it. So let's get some how going right now. First off, we're off right here. Okay, so what's the concept I want to share with you? The concept I'm trying to share with you is a decision-making tool that allow you to align. Okay, so in the bottom of these 3 jets, what you would see on land is we'd have a tractor trailer truck in a defined position. It's a defined position we're going to make decisions off of. It'd be a boat over water. Okay, so we all know what our objective is as a team, not as an individual, as a team. Now we're off right now. This is what it looks like when you align the stack. Okay, that only happens about once every 2 weeks. Why? Try coming at each other at 1,000 miles per hour closure. If you're 1 second off, you miss by 2 football fields. That's the level of precision that we were asking of each other. And usually it takes, I mean, you could have 5 people aligned and that one person is just slightly off. Yeah, and it is. You laugh because you're like, dang, you know, I did my job. But it's not enough for you to do your job. You got to get everyone together. And then what do? We debrief. And we talk about it. Because we have to communicate and then fix it. All right? And that's another key element is, you know, are you still debriefing? Yeah, I said no. Okay. Right. It kind of slipped. I get it. All right. So one recommendation is get debrief back into your cadence of execution. Okay. It's not enough just to be prepared for your little role. See, I said little role. Actually, it's not enough for you to sit in that seat and be prepared for just your role. Okay. We got to, as a group, come together. So here's a very quick exercise. Let's try it as a group. And then we'll show you how you can use the concept. All I want to do is share with you a concept because you can figure out how to implement this many ways. Let's pick a center point, not as an individual, as a team. All right? And say, what is a center point right now that you all, as a team, need to focus on? There's no right answer here because you could have multiple center points. Usually you do. But give me one that we can talk about. Getting the books published. Okay, that's a good one. Geshe mentioned that earlier. Let's put that on the shelf and let's talk about that. But are there others? Go ahead.
Mastering the Tibetan languages in all the ways in which it's used in scripture.
Beautiful. Okay, center point. Anything else?
Enough funds for sustaining.
Yeah, you better get some money to do this, right? Yeah. Okay, funds. Okay, got it. Production. Getting the production actually done. It has multiple steps, right? Okay. Let's go back to the first one Nick said. Let's say getting published, right? Let's get the books published, all right? Then what are the steps if you're going to use a stack? The next thing I'm going to unpack is there's a stack. There's certain things that need to occur in order to make that happen. So give me some of them. You actually started talking about. What are the things that need to occur in order to get the books published? Go ahead.
You have to be in communication with the publisher so that you know
Yeah.
if there's a new edit going on.
Okay, so you got to be in communication with the publisher for edits. Okay, so there's another person, the publisher. They're on the top. Okay, great. Give me another. What else? Good.
Have a person to buy the book.
Yeah. You know what? That we all laugh. That's how you define yourself. Not if did I write a good book? Did we translate a good book? Did anybody care? Did anybody buy it? So marketing really matters. Marketing's huge. And then I heard funding. Yeah, you need funding to survive. So there's another part. Okay, what else? Yeah, the translation. I'm glad that was the fourth one mentioned because, yeah, you do need to translate it. But so the whole point is very quickly the concept you can use, okay? And that is if you're going to do that, then these other things have to come together, okay? And there's got to be communication in order to make that happen. So the last thing I want to share right quickly here, because I know we got other things to do. How much time do we have right now? 11 minutes? Okay, good. So that was the alignment piece, okay? Now, you know, there's an execution piece. The execution piece, very quickly, is based on trust, okay? And what I'm showing you here is another 4 steps. What do I do with it? Right here. Well, here's something I'm gonna show you real quick. Okay. The debrief. All right. the way that you go from that slide where we were off to the slide where we all came together was through a process. We all understand process. The process here is what I call a glad to be here debrief. All right. So it has certain qualities and certain characteristics. Okay. On that page, tell me the qualities and tell me the characteristics. Kind of. What is? Yep, I agree. Okay. All right. What else?
On the right is the qualities, and on the left is the characteristics.
Yes. That's what I think. I think I wrote them so that the right's a quality, the left's a characteristic. And there's more characteristics than the quality. So what I heard you say in the room earlier is if you want to be a high-performance team, what we really need is we need respect in this room, okay? We have to respect each other for their roles. And by the way, I noticed that. You guys are very collegial. I like the way you're talking to each other. I like the way you're willing to share and be open. But that respect needs to go beyond the room to everything, okay? Not be just siloed between ACIP, ACI, DCI. Okay, we all have to respect everybody, and we need to come together. Okay, humility, quality, right? So one aspect of respect characteristic is create a safe environment. Safe environment is where you can bring things up, okay? And I think you have that. Psychological safety. There's lots of other ones. Yeah, and if you don't, then that's something to work on. Okay, humility. All right. Everybody in this room is good. You wouldn't be here, right? So there's that deep humility. I say check your ego at the door, okay? Be open and honest to everybody. I see it in the room. I don't see big egos in here. I don't see where I'm the senior student and you're the junior student. Anybody felt that before? I mean, exactly. No, of course. Okay, fine, good. So then we get a chance to fix it, okay? We get a chance to fix it. But and that's, there's hierarchies in businesses, there's hierarchies in monasteries, there's hierarchies everywhere. A good team, you put the rank on the table, meaning we still respect it. Okay, you never lose the respect for the Lama, for whoever, right? But you also put your ego on the table. Okay, and what's cool is when you get people who are really, really good at what they do. Watch anybody who's a master at what they do, usually pretty humble, right? It's the people who are just short of that. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Lay it on the table, the openness. This one's hard, by the way. Okay. It's really hard. It's hard in a relationship. Well, to actually be open and honest and lay it on the table. Say, I've got a problem. I don't like what's going on. I don't feel you're pulling your weight. Whatever it is, okay?
It's so dependent on the safe environment.
Exactly. There you go. That's why I labeled them that. Exactly. So if you don't have a safe environment, you're not going to get laid on the table. People are going to withhold. Okay?
If you have a big ego, you're not going to
Yeah.
do anything. You're not going to lay on the table.
Then they're not even going to do it because they're not going to care. You're going to deflect it. What's the fourth one?
Own it and fix it.
Yeah. It's accountability. I like to think, I talk about personal responsibility. That then, see, if you can get personal responsibility, accountability becomes a given. So in any organization, in anything, own it and fix it. Take it from A to Z. Get it done. Relieve someone else. Geshe says, I don't have time to do all this. He's right, of course. We don't have time to do that, but neither do you. You need support too. So the idea is build people around you who are willing to take the ball and run with it and just get it done. It's way too easy to point fingers at somebody else, okay? And then the last one is, though, and this is how we're going to end today, and that is we really need to cultivate deeply the joy and the gratitude of what we're doing, because that'll give you the energy to do the other four. If you don't have that last one, you're going to run out of energy. You're going to say it's not worth it. You're going to stop doing your yoga. You're going to stop meditating, and just going to run out. Okay, so you have to build that joy and that cadence back into you. So the good news is I brought a couple more books. Okay, they're sitting outside. If anyone didn't get any, I got a couple more because Geshe helped me write this, and what I've been talking about is embedded in this. But more importantly, it's just not in a book, okay? You got to have it in your heart. You got to be able to articulate it real. It's not about a piece of paper. Another 4 steps. We got 3 sets of 4 steps now. And that is that I believe it's the old vision, plan, execute, feedback loop. But in a very high level, we got to create beliefs. It starts with yourself first. What do you believe? How deeply do you believe? What's limiting you? What's liberating you? We can unpack this kind of stuff. But out of the beliefs come a commitment. And then you commit to what? To focus, to do something incredibly well. Okay, and this could be an individual or as an organization. We got to align that around the center point. Oh, I'm missing my P. That's weird. It's good to know. Okay, you around a center point, which is what are we doing now? We then trust each other, and trust is huge. Because trust will accelerate the execution. And then the 4th step is we need to have a mechanism to debrief. We need to be talking about learning what went well, what did. It's communication. And you can do this remotely. You can do this on Skype. You can do this. And then what that does is, but the most important piece is that glad to be here. Because with that glad to be here, now what it does is it resets belief levels. And now you get a spiraling up process. You don't do this once. It's a long rim. You constantly got to keep doing this. Okay, and it spirals up. It's the wheel. It's a wheel of life, but in a upside. It's also can be a downward spiral if you don't do it right. Okay. All right. So with that, any questions on that? Any thoughts? Okay. Let's check our objective. What did we accomplish? I want you to share with somebody. What did you hear today that you feel was beneficial and something that you either are doing well or you want to work on and get better? Share it with the group. What did you hear?
I like the concept of expanding self, it's not individual anymore, the excellence, the performance in the whole.
And how would that apply to this room right now?
So rather than working in silos on the individual's book, we have to feel the whole team is working together, like publications, like the sales, like we are getting people to support the project. It's not about my project or your project, but it's our project.
Nice. Yeah, there's an exercise, and I suggest you do it at some point, is you answer the question, who are we? And why are we here? See, the I was really easy, actually. You looked at now, who are we? Okay, beautiful. That's what you're asking. I like it. Okay, what else did you hear? Something cool. Yeah, Jigme.
I was just thinking that in order to be a team, we need to actually define roles. Because some people here have very clearly defined roles, and
Right.
a lot of people here are just kind of here as adjuncts and not really clear on what their
Yep.
role is. So it makes it impossible to work as a team because we can't depend on each other because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing.
Love it. Way to be open and honest. That takes time sometimes. It's not like, you're just going to throw a role on someone, but every team has clearly defined roles, every high performance team, and responsibilities. And what's a step that goes along with the role and responsibility? You have to have standards and expectations, and they need to be clear. Everyone needs to know, what is the standard that I'm living up to? What is the expectation? And by the way, some of that is implicit. Okay, you can feel it in the room with the translating. You got to be accurate. You got to be good. Boom. That's an implicit standard. All right, but it has to apply to all the roles. And this is, again, it takes time. I'm still working on it with my team. It's not like you just do this in 1 second. Okay, loved your thing. Roles and responsibilities, having standards. Boom. Love it. What else?
I like that page when you go through all these characters, because I think that kind of checklist is stuff to keep checking in. Like, do we have openings?
Right.
Do we, especially openings.
Yeah.
Every gym where you go and all that stuff. Kind of could be a daily thing or a weekly thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Love it. Yes.
I like the idea that you said we train 2 people every time
Yeah.
and we get the same performance.
Yes.
I was wondering, how does the Blue Angels method evolve and how can it produce the same results each time?
Well, you might want to invite me back because I don't think we have time. But absolutely, the how is important. We had very quickly, because I don't want to, we had a process and a system. And it started with selection. How do you select people? Number one. We all had a mentor, somebody one-on-one that was taking you through the process. We had a cadence of communication, briefs and debriefs, constantly back and forth. And we also had a handoff where you knew at some point you're going to hand your job to someone else. And so you want them to be even better than you. You got to share. You got to give everything you can, not withhold. And so there's a whole process to it. Let's talk about it sometime. I'd love to because it's huge. Okay, let's do this. All right. So I just wanted to plant some seeds. Okay. Hopefully we planted some. I want to now wrap with a glad to be here share out. Okay. So we started with a little bit. I said, "Well, I'm glad to be here," and a few of you spoke up as to why. But let's now take a minute. Let's just close our eyes. You guys are good at this. Okay. Let's close our eyes. And for 30 seconds, I want you to reflect deeply inside at your heart chakra. Think about your heart, not your head right now. What is so joyful to you? Why are you so glad to be part of this amazing team? 30 seconds. And now as you're feeling those seeds and you feel that seed in your heart, I want you to make one commitment. Personally, one commitment that's going to allow that seed to expand exponentially quickly. Okay, let's open up our eyes. Does anybody want to share one, glad to be here, something that was in your heart? Because we all learn and we all can grow from others. So we're going to end on a glad to be here share out. I'm done. Okay, very grateful for this opportunity. Somebody want to share something? Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like being here really activates and unlocks my creativity, and then my commitment is that I'm not going to back away.
I think what we have here is the best kept secret in the world, so I think we have a commitment to make it worldwide and get all these into the hands of as many people as possible.
I'm glad to be here because everybody has so much to contribute. If I can just be quiet and listen and learn a lot from each person. And then my commitment that based on that was to kind of keep trying to get myself out of the way and let everybody shine as much as possible.
And end your comments with glad to be here. I'm glad you started yours with that. So just glad to be here. Nice. It reinforces what you just said. Those are powerful.
Glad to be here because people around me inspire me to become a better person. Just in general. I'm glad to be here. Hashtag.
I'm glad to be here, and if Foley Lama would like, I would be happy to help organize debriefs with you as members and organize
Glad to be here.
I did say glad to be here.
No, you end it. Yeah, it just reinforces what you said. That was beautiful. Yeah.
I'm glad to be here because this is unique and probably impossible to replicate influence of mastery of the content, use of the language,
I'm glad to be here because we are sitting in a generation that we have transformed from another language to a modern language. And we are sitting here to be something to preserve the ancient wisdom and trying to translate into a modern language and also to apply in our daily life. And I feel like everybody is like undercover angel trying to teach us what's their specialty in their subject. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here. I feel like in my life I've taken on a role where it's expected of me to have like more of a leadership role in my personal life, in my community, and so to be able to keep coming back and having you guys reinvest in me and get to reinvest in you so that I can be more of something that I can hope to offer to other people is an incredible value. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here. I feel that I'm like swimming in the wisdom sea. So meaning very good, like 1,000 years scriptures, and then we learn and then we try to understand and want to help more people on the outside and share this wisdom for many, many people. So I'm glad to be here.
Glad to be here because every time we go our own thing or our non-assessment.
I'm glad to be here because I'm grateful to be part of the step down process, to take this high octane stuff to end suffering for all beings in the world. And it's not easy to do that step down.
I'm glad to be here because this group is really fun. And what we do is fun. This is fun as well.
Thank you, everybody. Glad to be here. Thank you, Geshe.
John, please keep coming back.
Thank you so much for your shares.
It's just fun to have you around and hang out. Really?
Cool.
I'd like to offer you this
Oh, wow.
book that is the prototype diamond edition.
Oh, yes.
There's a real diamond.
There is.
Real diamond.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Yeah, it's super. It's the high performance, high octane Choni-Lama commentary to the Dhammapada Sutra.
Ooh.
This is what do you call it? The diamond edition
Whoa.
subscription version of the first book from the Mixed Nut series, which is not technically called the Mixed Nut series. You can be on the inside
That's
lingo.
spiritual name.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you all. What a blessing. This is the result of what you do. Thank you. I will try to live that life and be an example.
First of
109.
Thank you.
Awesome. Quick break.